Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, sir.
Please confirm if my voice is clear and you're able to see my presentation.
Yes, sir. It's clear.
Okay. So in yesterday's class, we analyzed RC coupled, two-stage RC coupled amplifier. From the question, we have taken equivalent circuit. Okay. So on, and we found out input resistance. Okay. Input resistance. Then what did we observe? Okay. The voltage gain is very large for two-stage. That is the reason we are going for two-stage RC coupled amplifier. CE amplifier gives large gain. Two stages together give much larger gain. Okay, so we have seen that high voltage gain, output impedance is very large. Okay, almost infinite, neglecting the load, and input impedance we got is simply the HIE, neglecting the internal resistance of the circuit. Okay, so in simple words, the input resistance of the first stage, simply the HIE. Okay, all this we have seen, right? The important point that I want to tell, see, so far whatever the analysis we did, it is for mid-frequency region. Okay, it is for mid-frequency region. What I mean to say is, okay, see, for an amplifier circuit, if you gradually change the frequency, I repeat, for an amplifier circuit, if you gradually change the frequency, what happens is the gain increases, remains constant, decreases. Okay, this is the general shape for any amplifier. It could be single stage, multi-stage, okay, cascade, feedback. For any amplifier, the general shape is this. Okay, the general shape of the frequency response means if we gradually change frequency, okay, in logarithmic scale, right, then the gain first increases, then remains constant, and then decreases. Okay, so I will tell you three regions. One region, okay, second region, third region. Just you have to tell which is high frequency region, which is low frequency region. Okay, x-axis is frequency. Very simple question. If you think you can answer. So this region is what region? Yes.
Low frequency.
Very good. Okay, low frequency region. Then this region is what region?
Mid frequency region.
Mid frequency region.
High frequency.
Yes.
High frequency region.
Yes, this is high frequency region. Okay, so now what do we understand from this is actually the gain is not constant, okay, in low frequency and high frequency region. Okay, see, yesterday's class we got constant value, isn't it? Voltage gain, we got constant value. This is constant, it is not a variable, isn't it? The constant value we got. That is because we analyzed mid-frequency. So far, all our analysis was in mid-frequency region, okay, where the behavior or the performance of the amplifier is constant. Okay, it is not changing with frequency, isn't it? Now, what we will do is we will study the characteristics as a whole. Means we will take the low frequency response, high frequency response also in account so that our learning will be complete. Okay, so first, why do we have this changing behavior? Okay, right? Now, all of you know that our circuit, I will see some example circuit. Okay, this is our circuit, right? Which is the component here which changes with frequency? Anybody can answer? This is an amplifier. This is actually common emitter amplifier circuit. Among these, which is the component which changes with frequency? Anybody can give answer? Yes. Which component changes with? Very easy question.
Capacitors.
Very good. Okay, capacitor changes with frequency, right? It is this capacitor which changes with frequencies. Earlier analysis, what we did for AC equivalent capacitor, we took it as what? In previous classes for AC equivalent, we took capacitor as what?
Short circuit.
Yes. Yes. We took capacitor as short circuit, okay, right? Because we are neglecting the dependence of the frequency, okay, right? So in simple words, we are considering frequency sufficiently large, okay? What is omega? Omega is 2 pi f, isn't it? Impedance of capacitor, how much is that? Impedance of capacitor 1 by j. What? Please answer. Very simple question again. Impedance of a
1 by
capacitor.
J 2 pi.
Very good. 1 by j. Yes. Yes. Correct. 1 by j 2 pi fc is the impedance offered by a capacitor. Right? Okay. So when this f is sufficiently large, f is in the denominator, right? When the denominator is sufficiently large, the entire term I can approximate it to be 0. Okay. So actually, for higher frequencies means, see, mid frequency is compared to low frequency, mid is higher, isn't it? So what happens is, for this, even for entire frequencies, even for the entire, okay, beyond this point means for mid frequency as well as high frequencies, we can consider the capacitors to be short circuit. Okay, 1 by j 2 pi fc. F is in the denominator. So when f is sufficiently large, we can consider these capacitors to be short circuit. Okay, that is the reason so far in all our analysis we took capacitors as short circuit, because we were not considering very low frequencies. Okay, we were not considering very low frequencies. Now in question, if they say simply find out the gain, as it was in previous questions, they didn't mention, isn't it? High frequency, low frequency, mid frequency, they didn't mention. If they don't mention, by default, we will take mid frequency, right? So that is the reason I did not specify. If nothing is specified, just the circuit is given and asked, find out gain, input resistance, output resistance, so on. You will simply take the mid frequency, right? Where we will consider this circuit, okay? And capacitors we will take as short circuit and we will proceed. Of course, VCC replaced by ground, right? Now, at low frequency, okay, again, as your friend has said, it is 1 by j 2 pi fc, isn't it? 1 by j 2 pi fc for a capacitor. So for when f is small, denominator, okay, 1 by j 2 pi fc, denominator is also small. Okay, when denominator is small, the overall value increases, isn't it? Okay, 1 by a small number, the overall value is larger, right? So then we cannot neglect the impedance offered by capacitor. In simple words, this particular, okay, response where the gain is changing with frequency, right? Here, the gain is changing with frequency. This particular behavior is due to the capacitors in the circuit, okay? Due to the capacitors in the circuit, right? Now, See, as discussed, very low frequency only we should consider. Okay. For high frequency, we can approximate capacitor to be short circuit and analyze. Right? Okay. Means for very low frequency only capacitor short circuit. Here and here we can take these. Okay. Very low frequencies we have to consider the capacitive effect. Very low frequencies we have to consider the capacitor. We cannot take short circuit. But for these frequencies and higher frequencies, we take capacitor as short circuit. Okay, right? Now, then, as per whatever we have discussed, if the circuit capacitors are the only reason for these characteristics, then the characteristics should continue straight, isn't it? Okay, but that is not the case. The characteristics again fall. Okay, the gain falls after certain frequencies, and this is due to the junction capacitors. Okay, this one is due to the circuit capacitors CB, CZ. Okay, and then this is again CB. These are called as your coupling capacitors or blocking capacitors. CB, they block the DC from entering this side or entering the load. Okay, anyway, so these capacitive effects are seen at low frequency, right? This characteristic is due to the capacitors in the circuit. This characteristics is due to the junction capacitors. Okay, PNP transistor or NPN transistor. Okay, let us take NPN transistor. How many junctions does an NPN transistor have? Simple question again. NPN. Okay, how many junctions it have? How many junctions? Very good. Okay, it simply has two PN junctions. NPN. Okay, so NP one junction, another PN another. It has two junctions, right? Okay. Now, what happens is, see, when we go for very high frequencies, these junctions they behave as capacitors. Okay, these junctions they behave as capacitors, and that is responsible for the drop in the gain of your amplifier. Okay, so in short, when we gradually increase the frequency, gain increases, remains constant, decreases. Okay, this changing behavior of gain with respect to frequency is due to what? Answer please. It is due to what? Yes. Answer, I told you already. This is due to what? This changing behavior. Please answer. Very simple question again. This changing behavior where with respect to frequency, the gain is actually changing. It is not constant like here, isn't it? This is due to what? Easy question, I told many times. Circuit capacitors or junction capacitors? Which capacitors? Please give answer. I told you, isn't it? For low frequency, 1 by J, okay, 2 pi FC, that is the impedance offered by capacitor. Okay, so 1 by J 2 pi F. F is small. F is small means in the denominator the overall value is small. Okay, denominator is small means overall term is large. Okay, overall term is large means, see, small impedance means I can approximate short circuit. Now, because F is becoming low, the impedance is relatively larger. I cannot take as short circuit. In my calculation, I have to consider capacitor also. Okay. So, This characteristics is due to what? Please answer. Junction capacitance or circuit capacitance? Which capacitance? Yes. It is what is due to what? Circuit capacitances or transistor capacitances? What is the reason? Are you there, students, able to hear my voice? Sai, Akhil Sai, 475.
Sir,
What is the reason for this particular characteristic? Answer. I can't hear. Yes. 492 Ashwini. Akhil Sai, due to some reason I cannot hear you. 492 Ashwini. 492 Ashwini. Ashwini, are you there? Are you present? (492) Ashwini, unmute and answer. Okay, 492 Ashwini not present. Okay. Okay, next 483 Kirti.
Yes, sir.
What is the reason for this particular characteristic? Yes.
Don't know, sir.
See, okay, again I am explaining. This is the general amplifier. Okay, right? This is an example amplifier. Yesterday's class we saw two-stage amplifier. Okay. This is one single stage. Let it be two-stage, let it be single stage. Okay. General response of a amplifier is if you change frequency. Frequency means here input we are giving small sinusoidal signal, output we are getting larger sinusoidal signal, isn't it? So the sinusoidal signal has frequency, small frequency, large frequency. Okay, right? Now when we change that from small frequency to larger frequency, when we gradually change the frequency, what happens is this amplifier has gain, isn't it? Yesterday we calculated gain, voltage gain, input resistance, all that, isn't it? Amplifier has gain, we have seen, right? So this gain gradually increases, remains constant, then decreases. Okay. So what is the reason for this particular behavior is we know capacitance, okay, is dependent on frequency, right? The impedance offered by a capacitor is dependent on frequency. What is that? Impedance offered by capacitor is 1 by J 2 pi Fc. Okay, 1 by J 2 pi Fc. Now, when F is large, okay, F is sufficiently large. Sufficiently large means here or anywhere. Okay. Then denominator is large, overall term impedance, overall impedance is small. Okay, right? But 1 by J 2 pi F CB. Okay, that is the impedance here. That impedance, what will happen when F is small? 1 by J 2 pi F, 1 by J omega CB. I hope everybody know. Omega is 2 pi F. 1 by J omega CB is the impedance offered by this capacitor. Okay, so 1 by J 2 pi F, when F is small, the overall term becomes large. We cannot neglect. Means for small frequency, we cannot take directly capacitor short circuit. For low frequency, we cannot take capacitor short circuit. For mid frequency and high frequency, this we can take as short circuit. Okay. Not only this one. Okay. So all we have three capacitors in the circuit. Circuit capacitors. Here, this circuit has three capacitors. At mid frequencies or high frequencies, we can take those capacitors to be, we can take this CB, CZ, CB. These three capacitors, we can consider them as short circuit for mid frequencies and high frequencies. But we cannot do that at low frequency because impedance is 1 by j omega c. Omega is 2 pi f. So when 1 by j 2 pi f c, when that f is small, okay, when that f is small, then the overall term is large, okay, right? Then this, because f is in denominator, then we cannot neglect the capacitive effect, okay? The circuit capacitors we cannot neglect. We have to take the effect and do the derivation, okay? So in simple words, this is due to the circuit capacitors. Then transistor, this is NPN transistor, okay? NPN transistor has two junctions, NP junction, PN junction, okay, right? These junctions, they act as capacitors. They give capacitive effect at very high frequencies, okay? So very high frequencies, again, those junction capacitive effects are seen. They are responsible for this. Again, with respect to frequency, the gain is changing, okay, right? So this, again, anybody answer, this is due to what? Kirti.
Circuit capacitor.
Very good. This is due to?
Junction capacitor.
Yes, junction capacitors, or we can say transistor capacitances. Okay, junction capacitances, transistor capacitances, we can say. Okay, clear? Now, what we will do is, so far, whatever we did analysis, our derivations, our, okay, problems, everything was for mid frequency, right? Okay. A small modification we will do for low frequency, very simple modification, that is capacitor we will consider, that's all, okay? The process is almost the same as we are doing, but if the question asked low frequency analysis, if they don't ask, by default you will do only mid frequency and you will stop, okay? If question they ask low frequency, I will just show you one example, okay? For any circuit, the same logic you will use, okay? So just one example is sufficient to understand. So what we should do at low frequency is, okay, we have to, again, analysis method is the same. Given the circuit, we will go for AC equivalent, okay, same. But for earlier case, we were doing general analysis, means mid frequency. Capacitors we took short circuit. Here we cannot take. Only difference is when we are doing low frequency analysis, we cannot take capacitors as short circuit. We have to consider the effect of capacitors, okay? Standard procedure is, see here there are more than one capacitors, isn't it? Standard procedure is the capacitive effect is taken one by one and then the overall performance of the circuit is analyzed. What do I mean by one is, when we consider, for example, this effect of this capacitor on the circuit, okay, remaining we will approximate as short circuit. Remaining we will approximate as short circuit, okay, and then we will proceed. Okay, so now, as I am telling, we are not taking all the capacitive effects simultaneously. One by one we are selecting, okay, we are selecting one by one. So effect of this capacitor CZ, only this one we are considering, okay. Then what we will do, these two as it is short circuit, okay, these two as it is short circuit. So what do we have? VS RS, okay, VS RS as it is, and then this one, okay, we are shorting, isn't it? Why we are shorting? Again, I am repeating. When finding the low frequency response, whenever you have multiple capacitors, you will take one by one. Okay, you will take, you will analyze the circuit with one by one capacitor. You will not take the entire capacitors and analyze. You will separately take effect of, see the heading, effect of emitter bypass capacitor CZ means now we will take only this into consideration. This one, like we did in previous classes, the same thing we will do, means replace by short circuit. Okay, so Vs Rs as it is, then this capacitor shorted means connected to base. Okay, right? So that capacitor shorted connected to base, right? Parallelly, we are replacing with the transistor equivalent, approximate equivalent circuit. Okay, approximate equivalent circuit, you know, from base to emitter, we have HIE. So directly from, I am not drawing transistor, from base to emitter, I am drawing HIE. Okay, then from emitter, we should take these two components as it is. These two components we are taking as it is. Then from collector to emitter, HFE IB. Okay, that is the equivalent circuit for transistor. We have seen so many times in previous classes. So collector to emitter, HFE IB, right? Then RC is from collector to VCC replaced by ground, isn't it? Same old technique. Okay, so same old technique we are using. VCC replaced by ground, but only one capacitor that we are considering the effect. Okay, that we are taking, remaining again same old, replaced by short circuit. Okay, so Vs Rs directly connected to base. Vs Rs base. Okay, then from emitter we have RECZ. Emitter we have RECZ. Then from collector, this capacitor also short circuit, isn't it? So collector directly going to output. From collector we have this RC. From collector we have this RC. Okay, fine. Now here we are replacing this base, emitter, collector with the equivalent. Okay, right? Furthermore, see, if these resistance are sufficiently large, okay, actually we should have here R2 as it is, then R1 also, isn't it? Like we did in previous class. Okay, but if those R1, R2 are sufficiently large, you can neglect. Okay, so that also we are taking in this analysis. Okay, so R1, R2 sufficiently large. We are considering the case when R1, R2 is sufficiently large. Okay, for easier analysis, then we are neglecting. And again, now very easy. Okay, now very easy. Just how we are analyzed our circuits in previous classes, similar analysis we will do, and whatever the result we get, that is the result for this circuit. Okay, so now same old analysis. Okay, I want all the students to answer. What is V naught here in the circuit? What is V naught? This is RC. This is HFE IB. So what is V naught? What is V naught here? Please answer. V naught, very easy question. Ohm's law. Just Ohm.
Minus HFE IB into RC.
Very good. V naught is minus HFE IB into RC. Okay. So V naught, okay, minus HFE IB into RC. Okay, V naught is minus HFE IB into RC. Now, let me find out the overall voltage gain. Okay, I want to find out, means V naught by Vs I want to find out. Okay, then already I have V naught. What will Vs be? Again KVL here. KVL here. See this as a single component. See this as a single component. You know, two components in parallel, you can find the equivalent impedance. You can replace with a single equivalent impedance, isn't it? So I have one component, second component, third component, then this one as a single component. Tell me KVL here, very easy again. You can call this as parallel combination of RECZ. You can call it, okay? So Vs is equals to IB RS plus IB HIE plus what will be the current here? If this is IB, this is HFE IB, what will be the current here? Anybody answer? This is current entering this junction.
IB plus HFE IB.
Yes, the current in this path is actually IB plus HFE IB. So once again, can anybody tell me the entire KVL equation here? Entire KVL equation. Fast, please. Fast, please. Simple KVL equation I am asking. I am not asking you rocket science. Okay, very easy question I am asking KVL. Okay. Fast, please. Quickly. Vs is equals to, okay, at least half you tell whatever you know. Devender, KVL.
Vs equal to
Yes.
RSIB plus
Yes.
IBHIE plus
Yes. Yes.
IB into 1 plus HF.
Into? Okay, last part I will tell. Okay, correct. Mostly correct. So Vs is equal to, okay, this voltage here to here is equal to this path voltages. Okay, so I can write Vs is equal to, okay, IB into RS plus IB into HIE. The current here is IB into 1 plus HFE, isn't it? So Vs is equals to IBRS plus IBHIE plus IB into 1 plus HFE into parallel combination of RE and CZ. Okay. So Vs will be IB into RS plus IB into HIE. So IB I'm taking common. Vs is equals to IB. If I take comes, we can take parallel, we can take series combination, isn't it? So Vs is equals to IB into RS plus HIE. Okay. Vs is equals to IB into RS plus HIE. And as discussed, if this current is IB, if this current is HFE IB, the sum of currents entering is equal to sum of currents leaving, KCL, isn't it? So IB, HFE IB, two water flows joining, the total is addition of these two flows, isn't it? Okay. So IB plus HFE IB, IB I can take common. So the current in this path is IB into 1 plus HFE. So IB into 1 plus HFE into parallel combination of these two. IB into 1 plus HFE, parallel combination of two resistors. What is the formula? Okay. R1, R2 by R1 plus R2. Okay. Same old formula which you studied in 12th standard. Okay. So in place of R1, we have RE. In place of R2, we have 1 by J omega CZ. Okay. Isn't it? For capacitor, the impedance you will take is 1 by J omega CZ. Right? Or J, okay, J square is minus 1, isn't it? J square is multiplied divided with J. You can take it as minus J by omega CZ. Okay. So this is RE. This is minus J by omega CZ. You might have studied this in intermediate, impedance offered by capacitor. Minus J by omega CZ, okay, or 1 by J omega CZ. I will take minus J by omega CZ. So RE minus J by omega CZ. So equivalent is RE into minus J by omega CZ by RE plus of minus J by omega CZ. So RE into minus J by omega CZ by RE minus J by omega Cz. Okay. Right. So either we can take in terms of minus J by omega Cz, or we can take 1 by J omega Cz. Anything we take. Okay. Anything we take. The formula that we are using is R1 R2 by R1 plus R2. Okay. So if I take 1 by J omega Cz, okay, right, Re into 1 by J omega Cz divided by Re plus 1 by J omega Cz. Okay. Re into 1 by J omega Cz divided by Re plus 1 by J omega Cz. Right. Okay. So what we are doing here, we are taking parallel combination R1 R2 by R1 plus R2. In place of R1 we have Re. In place of R2 we have 1 by J omega Cz. Okay. So in place of R1 we have Re. In place of R2 we have 1 by J omega Cz. Two resistors in parallel formula we are using. That's it. Okay. Now here what we can take common. This is also IB, this is also IB. So I will take IB common. Okay. Why I want to take IB common? Because already we obtained V0 in terms of IB. Okay. If I get VS also in terms of IB, then easily I can get the voltage gain. Okay. Right. So here we got like this. Now see, observe this equation. What is LHS term? Is it voltage or current? What is LHS? Answer fast, please. What is the LHS term here? What is LHS?
Yes.
VS, voltage. Okay. Now, see, most of the cases we will do dimensionality matching. Dimensionality matching means if LHS is voltage, RHS should also be voltage. Okay. Right. Otherwise, as per physics, it is invalid. Okay. So in simple words, if LHS is voltage, RHS has to be voltage. If LHS is current, RHS has to be current term. Okay. You cannot say voltage equal to resistance. You cannot say. As per physics, it is invalid. What I want to say is, if LHS is voltage, RHS is also voltage. But if I have IB, I already have IB here. I already have IB. So this entire term should be what? To match the dimensionality, this entire term should be what? Quickly answer. See, think and you can answer.
R, sir.
Very good. This entire term, the dimension of this entire term other than IB has to be resistance, because if you multiply current with resistance only, you get voltage, isn't it? So this is RS. Okay. Resistance, correct. HIE. Okay. It is input impedance. Right? If you don't have the impedance, if you don't have the J term, reactive part, if you don't have, then that is also resistance. Okay, right. Now, okay. So in simple words, this entire term can be resistance or impedance, isn't it? Okay. For purely resistive, V is equals to IR. But when you consider the capacitive effect, you should take the impedance, right?